friends, Mindy here. I have a different sort of video for you today. Today I'm going to be talking about junk journaling. So I have been getting a lot of questions about junk journaling, what it is, what you do with the journals, how you use them, different kinds of things. And so I thought this might be helpful. A long time ago, I had done a video about kind of different ways to Bible journal to kind of give you some ideas maybe that were new or whatever. And so I want to go through and talk about junk journaling because it's kind of a broad topic and I tend to use the term loosely. There are purists out there who will tell you that a junk journal should be made only from reclaimed things and recycled pieces and that kind of stuff, and literally junk. And I have gotten flack for using, pattern papers or scrapbook papers or those kinds of things in my junk journals. But I kind of fall in the line of it can be kind of whatever you want it to be. So also let me just say, if you can hear my son in the background, I apologize. Anyway, so I'm going to show you some different ways that you can junk journal, different ideas, different ways that I do it, different styles of junk journals that I have. And maybe this is something that's of interest to you. There's a lot, I use journals a lot. If you've watched my channel before, I use journals a lot for Bible journaling. I do have journaling Bibles, but a lot of times if I'm doing a deep study, I like to journal in a journal. So anyway, I just thought I would go through some of those things. So just a little bit of background. I have been, ever since I was a young girl, I personally have been a writer. I like to write. I like to take notes. I know that sounds weird, but I just have always kept journals and those kinds of things. And so junk journals are just a pretty way to kind of do all of that. So they can be anything from artworks to your actual notes and thoughts or quotes or grocery lists or, whatever you want to make them. So I don't really know where to start. I guess I'm going to start kind of at a basic. So a while ago, I don't even remember now, I was challenged to make a journal from Dollar Tree items. And so I went to the Dollar Tree, I picked up a few things, and I made this journal. And just with the point of kind of showing that you can really do it with anything. So this cover is made from a manila shipping envelope that I bought some tissue, and I just did some things to the cover to make it look and feel kind of leathery. It's just a big journal. You can kind of see I have different kinds of paper. These were all just things that I found at the Dollar Tree. I coffee dyed them. This was some of the kids, manuscript practice paper, just some different papers and stickers and stuff that I found there. So literally you can make this from whatever you have around your house. So they had some little stencils there, so I bought some of that. Just to try to kind of meet that challenge of a junk journal made from Dollar Tree items. Like I said, I have made a junk journal from literally mail that came in, like junk mail that came. I don't think I have that one right here with me, but it can be done. So that's just one idea. That was just Dollar Tree items. This journal here, I'm just going to kind of go with what's around me. This was actually, I was working through the book, The Red Sea Rules, back in, I believe that was January. And so that was a book January of this year that we were kind of doing as a community with By the Will for God. And it wasn't a devotional book, but it was just a book that we were kind of going through. And I made this junk journal. I have some vintage papers in the background. I have some dot grid paper. I have some Tomoe River paper in here. I have just regular paper. I have coffee dyed paper, all kinds. This is actually Tim Holtz paper right here. So I just have a lot of different things in this journal. I think there's actually a flip through of this completed journal on my channel if you want to see that. I do have a couple of playlists. One is journal tutorials and one, and then others will be for this because this was from By the Will for God. So this is part of the Red Sea Rules playlist, I think, that I have on there. So again, you can see just different kinds of pattern paper and all kinds of things. And then I ended up with a few extra pages at the end because of the way that I created it, but that was fine. I wanted to make sure that I gave myself enough room. I used some vintage fabric that I had, and I just created this journal from that. And then I worked through, like I said, I do a lot of Bible journaling in the same way. I'll do devotionals and that kind of stuff. This journal was actually created from some leftover fabric that I had from one of the By the Well for God devotional kits that I did. And I just wanted to make some, it was just so cute. And I thought that would make a cute little fun journal. So I went through and I just pulled out some vintage pieces and things that I have. This is actually Tim Holtz journaling card. And this is some Braille paper that a sweet friend sent to me, which is amazing. I just have a bunch of different things in here. I have not yet done anything inside this journal yet. That's a journaling card I made. These are some vintage pages from my House of Books subscription. I have a little envelope right here, you can see. And I just made a journal out of it, and I will work through this with whatever I decide at some point. I may try to sell this one. I haven't quite decided. But anyway, this was just a little journal I made. This Braille paper is probably one of my favorites in this journal. Just a little tiny journal, just ready to go. I did just some really messy stitching around the outside of it, and I put this big vintage button on there for the closure, and that's it. Now, you can do other things in the journal. Like, there's a lot of different ways that you can do junk journaling. There's a lot of different things that you can put inside a junk journal, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So last year, this was, I believe, July, I did the Junk Journal July challenge. This is an altered book, so I created this altered book to work through that, which was a series of prompts. And so this is hosted by Meg Journals. It's actually just finished up for this year. I have not yet posted mine for this year, but so I have the prompts here. Like I said, this is an altered book that I just used, and then I just went through those prompts, and in this one I have more what I would consider art. So there's not like a lot of just me writing out my thoughts or everything, although once in a while, you know, there'll be a quote or something on there, but for the most part, it's just artwork. So I'm not gonna, there's a flip through if you want to see a close-up of this video or of this journal as well. But like here, I just have a scripture on that page. I just have, you know, random things. Like this was my last day. So I would say that I did more artwork in this one. So this was my junk journal for Junk Journal July of last year. And then that was an altered book. This one, I created a journal. This is actually my Junk Journal July for this year. It's getting quite chunky. I actually am not finished with it yet. I got a little bit behind, so I have a few more days to do before I can post my second flip through, although I do have a flip through of the first half of this if you're interested. But again, this is more artworks and following along with a set of prompts, which is actually a lot of fun to do, because it gives you just a challenge, kind of makes you think outside of the box. And I just really kind of enjoy doing that. I will show you another journal that I have. This one I did not create. This one was sent to me by a sweet friend, Angela, who makes the most beautiful journals. And she has made this out of fabric and just kind of, you know, stitched together, and then I just decorated the pages. So some of the pages she had started to decorate, and then I went in and kind of added some more. So in here I have some scriptures, I have different things here, just another scripture, another one, there's like a little card with some notes on there, just a lot of different kind of things. I believe I may actually have a flip through of this journal on my channel as well. This is a lot of scriptures that I have in this one. This is a quote from Charles Spurgeon. So, you know, you can really just do anything. If you just, you know, want to sit down, and it's a good way, like if you want to just have a few minutes to be able to do maybe some artwork or practice collaging or just practice some techniques that you want to practice, you can just make a junk journal. There's no pressure to it, you know, especially if you're using found items from around your house or junk mail or whatever. You're not going to be, you know, out any money for supplies because it's literally just junk. So you can also use these for memory keeping. You can do all kinds of things. I don't think I brought one of those over, but I have used them for memory keeping as well. Just kind of doing a quick flip through so you can kind of see. So this is one of the journals that was made by a friend. And then I have a few that I have made for different kind of specific purposes. So this is one I have a video, I think, about how I started making this journal, because this was just like a little pamphlet. It was like a bunch of Christmas stories or something in it. It was like for kids, and I just went in and just changed this. And so I have this is just a journal that I'm kind of working through some things and some thoughts. So I'm not going to show a lot of some of the things that are in here because they're just kind of private notes. But I do have, you know, some quotes that I have seen. I have a lot of kind of hidden places in this one because my thoughts and some of my feelings that I'm working through, and just some lessons, life lessons that I'm learning, I guess would be kind of the best way to put it. I have those in here, but they're kind of just hidden in the pages of this journal. And sometimes I work front to back, and sometimes I just work randomly. I have tucked a few things in here that I thought would kind of go with these pages when I get to them. But that's kind of a journal like that I have just working. So whenever I'm ready, if I find a quote or I find something that I feel like pertains to this issue, then I will put it in this journal. So it's kind of a working journal. Like, and as in, I'm not going to work start to finish in it like I would if I was doing like Bible journaling or whatever. Another one of those types of journals for me is my Word of the Year journal. And I do have, I think, a process video for this journal as well. But I have, so this is my Word of the Year. This is made from just some vintage fabric that I had. And then this is mostly done with scrapbook paper, just pages that I liked the designs of, and I just wanted to use it up instead of just letting it kind of sit in my stash. I'm a long time paper crafter. I've been paper crafting for over 20 years, so I have a lot of stuff, and so I just don't want it to sit around anymore and collect dust. I want to use it, and so I created this journal for like this one is for my Word of the Year for this year. And you can see I just have some different things and some notes and quotes, and this one is one where I'm not working like front to back. I just have different pages and different things, and it's a work in progress because the year is still going on. So here's a quote that I had found and just wanted to remember, and then some more information about my Word of the Year. So I'm not going to go into kind of all of that, but that's one that's another kind of work in progress journal that I just keep next to me. And then when I find, again, something that pertains to my words of the year, it will they will go in this journal. And trying to think of maybe some other ideas that I can show you. I'll just show you some of the journals that I've made that right now I don't actually, I've made, but I haven't done anything in them. I haven't started the process yet. This was actually a journal that I made last year at a retreat. And so I have, we had a little junk journaling session at that retreat. And so this is the journal that I made. So I have some scrapbook paper. I have just reclaimed paper. This is graph paper. I have just some notebook paper. You can kind of see just whatever. This is actually some like brown paper bag packaging, music paper. I have some more Braille paper in here, which is just so fun. And then just a bunch of different, some dot grid paper, all kinds of things. I have 2 signatures in here, in this one. So again, I have some graph paper, so I have some music paper. This is some beautiful embossed handmade paper that I have. This was actually, it looked like from a calendar or something. Just all kinds of things. This is some, I believe this is from a book here. Really, you can put anything in a junk journal. That's the beauty of it, really. And you can turn it into whatever you want it to be. So like, I have not yet worked through this one, but it's ready to go when I'm ready to work in it. I also have this one. I did a flip through of this one because this is one actually that I have for sale, but this one is another one that I just made. This is some Tim Holtz paper on the outside, and then on the inside is made from vintage book pages. This is Tomoe River paper. I have some vintage ledger in here. Just all kinds of different vintage. I have maps. This is By the Will for God paper, like pattern paper. Tim Holtz things, just an eclectic mix of things, but that's to me what makes a junk journal fun. And so like I said, you know, I do get asked a lot, like, what do you put it? So, you know, you can put anything in there, put quotes If you are a reader, you could do like book reviews, or if you wanted to remember quotes from a book or whatever. There's really no end to what you can actually put in one. This is another one I made just out of some leftover fabrics that I had. And then some of these pages were from a House of Books subscription that I had, and they just all fell within a theme. And so I just put them all together and made this journal. So this is from a book. I have some vintage ledger, some music paper, just some regular lined paper, and some more book pages in here, some more from just an old vintage book, just images from like magazines and different things. These are just from like some art books. I loved this image here, just kind of relaxing on the boat. And so this journal is just full of mostly vintage, but not all vintage papers. And it's just made from, this is a soft cover, so it's just a fabric cover on that one. And then you'll see this one again is you'll see maybe a repeat of this fabric because I love this fabric. But this one is one that I am actually in the process of working through. So in this one, I have some scripture. So I have just some random notes, like as a scripture will stick out to me, I will include it in here. And I'm not working in this one like every day or sitting down, and it's just kind of random as well. I'm not working front to back. So I do that a lot especially with junk journals, where I just it doesn't really matter whether it's the beginning or the end to me. It just whatever feels right for that day. You can see I have some old graph paper here. This is an old, I think this is like a time card or an invoice of some kind. Then I have, this is from a book. This is, let's see the other half of that. So yeah, this is a pay period. It's a pay stub. So just a lot of random things, some more book pages from some old books. This is an old index. This is actually an old envelope. And then I have a little tag stuck in there that's got some information, scripture on it. And just things like that. This is an old calendar page. This is from 1955 from like a planner, which I just thought was fun. And then like this one has a scripture. I just have it kind of tucked in there. So obviously, this is near the end of the book. There's some work. I'm not working in it, front to back. But I also have another one. This is actually a hardcover. This was made, I use a lot of like recycling of boxes when I create journals. So because the chipboard is a good weight. So like Wheat Thins boxes are great. If you've seen my channel at all, I use those a lot. But this one has a good mix of like a scrapbook paper, vintage paper. I have some maps in here. This is when I started. I just haven't finished decorating yet. You can see I have a bunch of things I want to add in here, but I have some music paper, a timesheet. I have some of that Braille paper. This is actually some scrapbook paper. And again, so it's like a mix of vintage. This paper right here is actually like piano roll, from like Player Piano. And I just made a pocket for that one. This is some like onion skin paper, which is fun. And just a bunch of different things. So it really just kind of depends on what you want to put in it. You can put just regular lined paper in it if you wanted to. You can make a junk journal out of a composition notebook. You can really do kind of whatever you want to do. It's really just a way for you to collect your thoughts, and or like I said, you can do art with it, like I'm doing with Junk Journal July, where I'm just creating from prompts. Or you can just, if you're wanting to work on a skill like collaging or whatever, you can do that in kind of a low pressure way. It's also a good way. I tell people a lot that it's a good way for people who want to start Bible journaling, but maybe they're afraid to start working in their Bible. I know for some people that creates a lot of anxiety and some pressure and stuff. And so, if you create a journal and work in that, then maybe that will take some of the pressure off. So, I do hope that this video has been helpful. I'm going to show one more video. I actually have a recent flip through of this one because I have this one for sale too. But this one is, again, it's a mix of like Tim Holtz. I have literally vintage postcards, vintage pieces of ledger. This one has a brown paper bag in it. Like, so to me, that makes it a junk journal because it's just whatever I have around to make a journal out of. I have matte paper, hymnal pages, scrapbook pages. There's just all kinds of things in here. So just saying that to say it can really be anything that you want it to be. There are no rules. I think as long as you're, if you're interested and you want to create something, it's a good way to do that. It's a good way to start journaling if you don't already. And again, you can fill those pages up with your notes and your thoughts, and like people like to write scripture writing from a scripture writing plan. You can certainly do that as well. There's just endless ideas. I really love junk journaling. And really, if it has anything to do with paper, I love it. If you've watched my channel again, I am a big Bible journaler. So and I like to work in journals a lot of the time. So anyway, I hope that this video has been helpful. If you have any questions, if that I can help you with, I'd be happy to do that. Just leave them down in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, if it was helpful, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And until next time, bye.